How's it going, Internet? It's your old mate, Strontium Dingo. This channel has slowly been gaining subscribers lately, which is quite encouraging. It's not that long ago that I only had like 5 subscribers, and I thought that'd be about it. But random people keep subbing to me, and I've got over 5 times that now, currently sitting at 28 subs, and I'm stoked about that. If you're one of the new subs, hi, and genuine thanks for your views. And also, if you're one of the old subs, you know how this works. So naturally, now it's time for something completely different. A self-indulgent video which may cause me to lose subs. Oh well. As you'll no doubt have noticed, today's video is released on May the 1st, which is International Workers' Day. It's a day of protest. It's the day to protest how workers are treated, which, for some reason that I can't figure out, I wasn't taught about in school. And if you're asking if I wasn't taught about how workers are treated or what May the 1st was, then my answer is yes. So, in a surprise move, I'm going to use this opportunity not to protest against the system, but to protest against my system. Specifically, my general attitude towards creativity in the modern age. I'll be discussing my adventures in creativity with a focus on behind-the-scenes stuff. It's just an insight into the creative process in general, but with a focus on me. Call me optimistic. Hey, you're optimistic! But I reckon I've earned this one. It's just me. There'll be no Bertrand or anything like that. There aren't even my usual visuals. It's literally just me talking for like 20 minutes or whatever. Nobody is under any obligation to watch this. Even my Steam buddies, even my kids. If this doesn't sound like a video that you're interested in, well, genuine thanks for your views so far. And just so you know, I've got some awesome videos. Well, some interest. I've got some other videos coming up this month, such as a follow-up video to my Fallout 76 one, and a video to celebrate the release of my first internationally released musical album, which is just a fancy way of saying I'm uploading music to the internet. My God, the intro to this video goes for 2 minutes. Anyway, longer now. A lot of this is going to sound like I'm just whining, but I'm just being brutally honest with myself and with you guys too, because I want to make a video where I do that. So I want to make this clear. I might be complaining, but I'm not whining. Every action, including a lack of action, has consequences, and that's on me. It's like I'm complaining about stubbing my toe. There's nobody to blame but myself for that, but it still freaking sucks. Okay, we good? We're good. Let's go! Let's start with something that was in the intro. I've got 28 subs, and I'm genuinely stoked about that. I should try and sound... And I'm genuinely stoked about that. That just sounds sarcastic. Look, you get what I mean. However, people who literally just copy-paste various Reddit entries into a robotic speech processor and then upload it have thousands of subs and can make a living from YouTube. Don't get me wrong, it's not quite that simple for them, but contrast and compare that to how I operate my channel. Not that it's a contest, but everything's a contest under capitalism, isn't it? Oh, said I wasn't going to do that. Apart from the earlier gaming vids in the Dingo Ate My Game category, my videos are, wait for this, you won't see it coming, heavily scripted. Every script goes through at least 2 drafts before I record it, which honestly makes me wonder how some of the more terrible jokes are still kept in. But whatever, the point is, I take this pretty seriously, just in all the wrong ways. Then there's editing. That takes ages. At least the audio part's easy for me, due to my previous experiences in recording. The point is, I take this channel too seriously, and yet somehow not seriously enough. I take it too seriously because I want to turn out my best work, because why would I even bother if I wasn't doing my best work? But let's be brutally honest, my videos aren't that good. They've gotten a lot better and will presumably continue to do so, but the only unique or interesting things about my videos are some of the ideas I put out there. I think the perfect example of this is the State of Decay video. If you haven't seen it, the whole setup for it is that it's like that annoying friend that we all have that irritates us from time to time, but who we love dearly, so we put up with some of their crap. I've never seen anyone else refer to a game like that. I'm certain that other people have, but I haven't seen it. So to me, well, I'm really proud of that video. But the video itself is probably twice as long as it needs to be. The editing is only so-so. The jokes are either too obscure or just straight up terrible. or both. And the pacing is, well, let's just say that I need to work on my pacing in general and leave it at that. But goddamn, I put some work into that video. It certainly wasn't as simple as copy-pasting stuff into a robotic speech processor. No matter what you've heard, the first rule of entertainment is nobody cares about the work itself, they only care how it makes them feel. That's literally what the creative industry is, including pop culture, art that you relate to. If you don't relate to it, then it's just not your thing, and that's okay. I myself don't particularly enjoy sharing a planet with Kanye West, but he brings joy to many people, so, you know, that's nice for them. And Power is a great track, no matter what you think of the artist. The point is, I recently realised that I make videos for me, and I'm okay with that. And if a low sub count is the price of that, well, then maybe I should stop taking this so seriously, which is a nice segue to how I also don't take this channel seriously enough. At the risk of sounding like a technophobe, which I'm clearly not, there are, literally as is written, nowhere near enough negative adjectives in all the collected languages in the world, and I'm including all the made-up ones like Tolkien, Elvish and Klingon, to accurately describe my complete and total loathing for the idiotic turd nest that is social media. Chris Rock has this joke, which I'm going to paraphrase because I can't be bothered looking it up. Ladies and gentlemen, heavily edited script. Anyway, here's the joke. Did you know there's an app which lets you see how racist your friends are? It's called Facebook. And he's got an awesome point. It's not just racism, though, is it? You can also see which of your friends believe in stupid conspiracy theories and which ones are too stupid to realise that your warrior name is your birth month and your last name put together posts are obviously attempts to get you to dox yourself, and which people are so incredibly stupid and arrogant that when you point this out to them, they're all like, yeah, I know, it's just a bit of fun, mate. But I'm getting distracted from my point, which is maybe the channel would do better if I had a social media presence. I mean, I highly doubt it, based on when I used to be on Facebook and only like 5 people ever shared my writing, and most of the people who commented had clearly only read the article title. But hey, that's just how people roll. So now I'm just like, I hate social media in general, and also it hasn't been effective in the past as far as marketing goes, so why even bother? But you're supposed to do it anyway, just like you're supposed to do free gigs when you first start out, even though neither of those things ever seem to work out for me. Isn't there a word for doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something to change? I'll tell you what the word isn't: success. The other side of that, of course, is, dude, 5 people shared my writing. That's pretty cool, and I should have appreciated it more. I always made sure to thank them whenever they did, but I didn't take time out to think to myself, oh, hey, that person respects either me or my work, or maybe both, enough to share it. Like, that's a permanent record of that fact. Why is that important, the permanent record thing? Well, I guess people could delete their posts, but just work with me here. Because of the first rule of entertainment. Nobody cares about the work, they only care how it makes them feel. So regardless of what society in general seems to think, there's a difference between financially successful and creatively successful. Or, in other words, art as therapy is just as valid as art as commerce, even if it's not treated the same way by most people. Philosophically speaking, if one person relates to your art, then it wasn't a waste of time. My entertainment career began when I was about 12. I learnt to play guitar when I was 10, just so I could spend time with my dad, who remains a great guitarist to this day. It turns out that I had a knack for it, especially chord work. Before too long, my old man joined a band, and I was the only guitarist he trusted to back him up, so I was in the band by default, even though I was only 12. I remember my first gig. It was unpaid, because of course it was, and we performed at the Latrobe Buffs Club, which I was surprised to find out wasn't a place for people who use statistic-enhancing skills in video games. It was, in fact, a small country and western-themed sports bar. The band didn't have a drummer, so I asked one of my school friends to drum for us for this one gig. Let's call him Dean, because that was his name. We were on first, which, using untried musicians first, is a terrible way to open a show, but whatever. The dude who was on second, and no, this isn't an Abbott and Costello bit, was a bit of a local personality whose name I have long since forgotten and refused to look up because screw that guy. He had a radio show, which was a huge deal back in those days, and he was, shall we say, quite impressed with himself in general. So we do our set, and then we're sitting back in the audience eating some sandwiches, which were kindly provided to all the performers. Mr. Radio Wanker is up there, and he realises that his drummer hasn't shown up, and he is furious. Like, how dare he not turn up? Doesn't he know I'm insert bland, forgettable name here? So he starts abusing Dean over the mic because that's totally appropriate behaviour for someone who purports to be both a professional musician and an adult. Hey boy, get up here and play the drums for us. Stop stuffing your face full of sandwiches and get up here. None of this, oh hey buddy, can you help us out in like 10 minutes when you're done eating? Nah mate, we should be bowing to this person with a forgettable name. We should still be bowing to him, and you, dear viewer, you should be bowing to him right now as well. Just for the record, here's the correct thing to do in that situation. You know, just in case you say you're a professional musician or an adult. Step 1. Excuse yourself over the mic and just say you're having slight technical difficulties, because that's code for literally any type of difficulty and everyone in the audience knows it, and that's fine. Step 2. Walk up to the drummer and explain the situation and politely ask if they'd mind filling in for your drummer. Step 3. If they choose to help you out, thank them for their time by name over the mic, preferably while you're introducing the band before the first song. Something like, "Hi folks, we're Unforgettable Name and his fanboys, and today we've got an extra special guest star on drums. Please allow me to introduce Dean." Step 4. Then, when you finish your bracket, say something like, "We've been Forgettable Name and his minions, and extra special thanks to Dean again for filling in for us." And that's it. Of course, you can probably skip all that if you're paying them, but it's still the right thing to do. But as you might remember, we weren't being paid anyway. Fame, even local fame, can go to people's heads if they let it. And so my very first gig, instead of being a moment of joy and or personal triumph, was nothing more than a long-term source of guilt for me for putting my friend in that situation, and also an eternal reminder that people everywhere are trash. Not you guys, though. You guys are cool. So that was my first gig. Now let's skip to my last one, and I'm genuinely certain it is the last one. I'm so certain that I sold all of my performance gear and just kept the stuff I'd need to record. So, my last gig was on my birthday 2 years ago, and I asked a friend of mine to organise a party for me because they'd just finished a course on event planning. The party goals were twofold: have some fun and get some footage of me playing guitar so I could upload it to YouTube and finally start acting like a modern musician. I asked at least 3 people to record at least a part of a song, and none of them delivered, not one of them. And sure, that was disappointing and frustrating, but I'm also really glad it happened, because I was not ready to deal with footage of me performing. I'm still not. I hate seeing my face. I still do. So back then I was glad I didn't have to edit anything with it in it. Also, there was this one guy that wanted to get up and perform, but we ran out of time because I was all like, I must get footage of myself. Just once, I was the cool guy, and I had a chance to be inclusive, but I failed because I was selfish and I lost track of time. That bothers me way more than not getting any footage, and there is nothing I can do that will ever change that, and that's just how it is. I can get more footage if I want to, but I can't time travel. Well, I mean, apart from forwards slowly, of course. So there's 2 boring stories about someone, but what was the point of them? There wasn't a point, and this isn't a bit. It's like deciding to sharpen a pencil. Sometimes the point is that there is no point. And that's another thing about my content. I like to think I'm clever, but really, I'm not. It's like I'm unique, but isn't everyone? And I should be okay with that, but I'm not, because society won't shut up about it. You're a failure. You're too old, but somehow you're too inexperienced. You're too serious. You're too stupid. You talk about yourself too much in the May 2020 Pinch and a Punch show. Well, screw you, society. You're not my real mum, and you can't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me, at least until this friggin' quarantine crap lifts and I can get back to cleaning up other people's messes and ignoring my own. Not you guys, though. Again, you guys are cool. I don't mean screw you. And I wonder why I failed as a writer. The thing is, I know I'm just some stupid middle-aged wanker who makes stupid videos where he hides behind pictures of dingoes and hyenas so he can talk to himself and hope against hope that people find his work funny for all the same reasons that he does. I know all that. I just don't care because I'm having fun and I'm not hurting anyone apart from maybe myself, but that's how art works, baby. I mean, I obviously do care, but you know what I mean. Also, I don't even understand how to use social media, so that's a problem because you need that skill to be able to make it in the modern world as any type of content creator. I'm not a technophobe, that's not the problem. I just don't even get how normal social stuff works, let alone doing it online where you can't even rely on other people's body language to give you clues into what they're actually saying. I threw literal decades of my life into my music career, and what did that get me? I spent about 30 years teaching myself how to use recording equipment because I never released any music until recently because there was always more song tweaking to do. Then there's how I'd lose all my work because the backups failed. Twice that happened, mind you. Then I'd have to overcome a lack of motivation in order to start the whole process over again. And that's where I am now. Third time's the charm, I guess. Well, at least I released something, even if it was crap. Well, I mean, I love it. But most of the feedback I'm getting is telling me that it sounds terrible, like it's too bassy or muddy or whatever. All that time I spent, all the work I put in, all the parties I missed so I could work on my music, the family events I couldn't make it to, it was all pointless in the end. All because my current audio system sounds different from most other people's, and I'm too tired to keep pretending I'm a real musician, whatever that means, because there's a word for doing something over and over again, and I've already did this bit. So now I just say I'm a music hobbyist, because at least that way I'm not lying to other people or myself. So why can't I view myself as a YouTube hobbyist? It's weird. Now, at this stage, you might be feeling something like pity for me. As that guy from the room almost said, you can keep your stupid pity in your pocket. That's not what this is about. I deserve everything that happened to me. I made stupid choices and wrong calls, and this is what I get. This is my hill of mistakes, and I will live on it. I believed that putting effort into something would ultimately pay off. Now I realise that's where you start. It's not the finishing line. Hell, it's not even the start line. It's the training for the race. God, I suck at metaphors. And even then, luck is a big factor. Luck that someone would hear my music and like it. Luck that I'd show a friend and they'd show a friend and then they'd show another friend and so on. Luck that I wouldn't be plagued with whatever the hell this is that happens to my head sometimes. Luck that people would say, that's unique, and not, oh, hey, your music sounds like AC/DC at home, even though that's literally how the human brain works, by recognition. Luck that the music I want to make is the music that people want to hear. The point is, I'm what happens when someone has drive and ambition, but no actual skill or talent. Well, I mean, that's probably not completely fair, but it's also not far off. People often say to me, you're being too hard on yourself. To which I always reply, ha ha ha, you said hard on. Mainly because that's a lot shorter than saying, I'm not the one who says I failed, society is, or am I magically able to support my family with music all of a sudden and I just don't know about it? How is that me being hard on myself? Oh, please tell me, great and powerful font of wisdom. Please unleash the knowledge of 1,000 universes upon my worthless soul so that I may bask in your intellectual glory. It's also probably a bit more polite than saying that too. Anyway, back to the channel. There's literally only one thing I want from this channel. To make a pinch and a punch show every month for a year. That's it. That's the end goal for me. Sure, I've been making other videos, but they're just side quests, experiments with different editing processes or techniques. I'm halfway there now, and the thing is, I'm already burnt out. Every time I'm editing a video, there's a voice that says, oh, so you're going to waste 30 years on this now, are you? Yeah, cool. That's a good move. Very clever stuff. Well done. Fantastic life choice. That voice is like an old friend now, and that scares the crap out of me. Not because it's an actual voice, which would be scary as hell, but because I'm scared that one day I'm going to forget to reply, no, I'm just going to do this for a year. Because that's how you earn wins, by ignoring unhelpful crap, no matter where it comes from. The worst thing is I've actually already done it. I've already done 12 pinch and a punch episodes. I deleted 6 of them due to concerns about inclusivity. Don't get me wrong, the SJW community can frig right off. It wasn't about that. It was about if someone discovers my content and they found some joy or peace or whatever in it, then I don't want them to feel unwelcome. Unless they're bigots, of course. If you're a bigot, then please unsub. And that's not me gatekeeping. That's me saying, my content will probably not please you in the long term. Why not save us both time and effort and just walk away now and have a good life, and I hope you sort your issues out, fellow human. It's just that I somehow always manage to word it like racists are the human version of a garbage fire made from smaller garbage fires, which are in turn made up of piles of burning feces. Probably because if bigots aren't going to put mental effort into having empathy for others, then I see no reason to treat them as if they do. By the same token, I'm hardly going to change my dingo symbol into a pride flag. But I'd much prefer that over a Nazi flag, no contest. And also I probably will change my dingo symbol into a pride flag next month. Who knows? Who can even tell what I'm going to do next? And that's the thing. That's why the Pinch and a Punch show is different every month. Because to me, it doesn't matter what I put out. It only matters that I put something out. Even self-indulgent crap like this. As Mike Patton once sang in a Faith No More song, say something. Anything. Man, I hope the outro was light-hearted. Wow, that was some heavy stuff. I sure do hope the outro was light-hearted. On a lighter note, oh, cool. I recently got back in touch with an international friend of mine named Josh. Josh is an American dude. And he was my very first editor when I started taking my writing seriously, probably more seriously than I should have. Fun fact, I've had 3 editors for long-term writing jobs so far, and they've all been named Josh. Unless you count Jules, who took over for a different Josh, but that was just before I quit writing, which had nothing to do with Jules. He was freaking awesome, so I don't count that. Anyway, during our conversation, Josh, first Josh, American Josh, was telling me about how he'd recorded some music and had it available on Bandcamp. He didn't offer a link, but he did let me know that he'd be happy to share a link on request. I thought to myself, why wouldn't you just share it? Isn't that how all this works now? Then I realised, of course he didn't want to share it. He didn't want to share links to his music without me asking for them for the same reason that I don't do that to other people. Because it feels weird. Not the sharing a link part, and not even the sharing the music itself part. The part where you're chatting with a buddy, and then you have to turn into a salesman and risk throwing the whole conversation, and possibly relationship, out of whack. It's just gross. It's normal. It's egotistical. It's standard. It's disgusting. But it's common behaviour. And I hate it. But it's not like we're asking you to join Amway or something sketchy like that. We're just letting you know that we did something we're proud of and telling you you can listen to it if you want. I guess that's the kind of thing I mean when I say I don't get how social media works. So anyway, I went to Bandcamp and I bought 3 of his releases and I freaking loved them. And I hope you guys do too. You can listen to them for free if you want, but don't do that. Give him some money, however much you can afford, if you think the music's worth it. I'll leave a link in the description. He also has a Twitch channel, which he regularly streams on, and I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. And because I hate even-numbered lists, I'll also leave a link to his YouTube channel. Okay, so I know this was a pretty self-indulgent video, so if you made it this far, then I genuinely appreciate that. Oh, wow, I can sound sincere. I wish I had something meaningful to offer you, but that's kind of my whole shtick, isn't it? Self-indulgent content with a dash of, I hope other people can relate to this. But isn't that what most art is? So, anyway, I guess, hit me up if you want to hear more tales about my various gigs in future videos. Some of them were crazy, especially the one about The Circle, but I'm scared of these German women one, and of course, the one called Inappropriate Urinal Behaviour, which was by far the weirdest moment of my entire life and which also appeared in one of my removed videos. I would go into more detail about them, but the second rule of show business is always leave them wanting more. I've been Liam Padmore, calling himself Strontium Dingo, and I promise not to do this whole thing again, unless it's specifically requested, and believe me, I am not fishing for that. This was not fun to write, but hey, if you guys didn't hate it, then I'm happy to do it some more for you guys. Maybe someone found this interesting. I don't know these things. Thanks for watching, and please go and give Josh some love on one or all of the various links that I've left in the description. Until next time, Internet, stay home, stay safe, and stay awesome.